Oh, hi there. I didn't know you were here. How's it going? I'm over there asking Tyler to bring me something. I always I'm like, okay, we got to get ready to get on, and then I'll forget we're getting on. I'll end up having these conversations with all the folks, all of the homies. Right. So thank you so much for joining in there. You know, one thing I forgot to tell you, so classic, that everyone who joins the Inner Circle also gets the BookFunnel Blueprint product for free. Yeah. Now let's see, which one is that? Oh no, I wanted the last one that we sent out, where I have the manuals for BookFunnel stuff in there. Yeah. Do we have that? Do we have a copy of that one here? All right, cool. Where was I? Right. So this is obviously the behind the scenes part still. I'm not in the teaching segment. When you join the Inner Circle, you also get the BookFunnel Blueprint product for free. So everything you're seeing behind the scenes, of course, like I've said a billion times, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but I'm filming all of this stuff to turn it into a product called the BookFunnel Blueprint. So when you join the Inner Circle, you get the actual recordings of this. And what's interesting is I've already written the manuals, and I thought we had them here. So I've already written most of the product. I even recorded the product before, but I didn't like the recordings as much. I said, man, I want to re-record this. I just want to make it a little bit more succinct and coherent and step-by-step for everyone, so which is why I decided to refilm it, which is why I invited you to watch me behind the scenes. So when you join the Inner Circle, you get that product as well. There is no replay of what I'm doing here. I've mentioned that a lot, I know, but when I say there's no replay, there really isn't one, because we're turning it into a product. Is that the one? I can't read that. Oh, yeah. Here, let me see. So I've actually already written this. So I've written the product, and what we're doing right here is we're redoing the videos for it. So you'll get that finished product as well when you become a member. And for everyone who has joined, thank you so much. And for all of my members that are saying nice things in the comments, I appreciate it. I have a really huge favor to ask you guys, though. Tyler said that some of y'all are very enthusiastically saying, dude, it took my business from this much money until all the way up to this much money. If you could, please don't make any sort of references to income in that, because then that could be technically considered an unsubstantiated income claim. And I don't want to make those, because I like to keep the old nose clean with Los Federales. Don't want to mess with those dudes. So I appreciate that, and I'm really proud that we got those results for you. But if you could just say, I like it a lot and it's been great. I never in my life thought I would be on live camera saying, please don't give me really good testimonials. Just give me kind of good ones. But unless I've got your tax returns and stuff, which I don't want to ask you for, we can't actually say, hey, you made this much money or whatever. So dude, thank you so much for being so enthusiastic about it. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. And we don't want no trouble. So don't say that anymore. Just say you like it, please. That'd be good. And that's all, because, hey, what one guy makes is irrelevant to what another guy makes anyway, right? So, cool. Okay, so where were we? Right, so we're almost getting with the first part, or with the actual teaching part. What I thought I was going to be able to successfully do this morning was teach you the long-form frameworks and the billion-dollar VSL frameworks within the course of an hour. But I couldn't. It took me an hour just to teach the long-form framework. And I don't want to leave you hanging. I want to teach you this billion-dollar VSL framework. And I want to get a really good version of me teaching this on camera so I can use it in the finished product, because the finished product is going to be pretty dang good. I got a feeling. You ain't even seen nothing. Yeah, we still got tomorrow, baby. Yeah, so let's do that, okay? So I'm going to start now, and we'll go back into very official sounding. I guess it never really sounds official, does it? But we'll go back into the actual product creation mode here. And damn it, the internet's broken, because I went to refresh to see if we sold any more books from the Facebook ads so I could show you an update. Nothing's happened. Dang it, it was, what was it, 90 minutes and no one bought anything from the BookFunnel. It must be broken. The whole internet's down. I blame Russell Brunson as usual. In our Inner Circle, we have this joke, all of our members, we always blame Russell Brunson for everything, even if it has nothing to do with anything he could possibly be tied to, such as global warming, the existence of the band Nickelback, that weird tendency for some European dudes to wear sweaters tied around their necks like capes regardless of the temperature. All of that's Brunson's fault. That's an inside joke between us and the members. Okay, let's get started. You ready to go? So, here we go. We shall begin. We are now officially recording in this voice for the entire time. Hey, welcome back. So what I'd like to teach you right now is something that I call the billion-dollar video sales letter framework. And the use of the word billion really seems kind of like a lot of hot air, but in reality, it is not. This framework is a collaboration between myself and a very dear friend of mine named Dean Graziosi. And Dean Graziosi has done two things incredibly well. Number one is sell on video, specifically through television infomercials, and number two, sell books through those. And that's why this is so very relevant to what we're doing right now. So Dean and I work together on some very large products for a very large corporate client that does around $300 million in annual revenue. And as a result of our work with this client, we need to create a lot of sales collateral. And a lot of those sales collateral is videos that we don't personally film. We have to have other people film, and we're not in there. And we got together and we decided that we would take the best of his winning video ideas and mine, and we would marry them together in a repeatable framework, kind of like a step-by-step guideline. And that's what this is. So we literally created this to hand off to other copywriters so that they could create videos within this framework that we could approve or tweak or whatever, and then we could roll it out to the market. It's been awesome. It has really, really been a game changer for us in terms of being able to get offers out to marketplaces very, very quickly. So now I want to give you this exact same thing that we built specifically for use, really, with this one $300 million client. So here we go. This is the $1 billion framework. So a sales video, a story-based sales video, has 7 simple steps. So I'm going to show you each step. I'm going to walk you through each one. And if this works, I'm going to give you an example of some copy, like a screen cam style where it's just on PowerPoint, and then I'm going to show you Dean actually doing it from an online video where it's direct to camera. So let's see if this works. The first step is the open, so it's the open. The second is the intro. The third is the story. The fourth is what we call the bridge. The fifth is the pitch. The sixth is the bonuses, and the seventh is the risk reversal, which also includes a call to action and a deliberate pitch in there. So this is really, if you take any really good story-based video sales letter or even an infomercial, it kind of follows this framework, especially online. If it's online, it almost always follows this framework. So let's walk you through it. So let's talk about the open. The open is like the first second or two, sometimes maybe 10 seconds of your video. And there's really 2 formulas that you can follow with the open. The first formula is called a cliffhanger story with the one thing promise. The cliffhanger story with the one thing promise. So I'll give you an example of it, right? What you want to do is you want to begin a story, but all you're doing is beginning it. You don't finish it. And during that beginning, you hint that the story will reveal the one thing that can help the viewer solve his problems. Now, come back to me for a second there, Sass. One thing is very important. So in these types of videos and these types of pitches, what we want to really do is isolate the single most valuable thing we can share in the video and present that as this is the one thing you can do to really get the best results to X, right? It's all about the one thing because consumers like simplicity, right? So if we can lead with the most impactful promise and the most impactful knowledge that we can give them, we're probably going to have the best results, right? So you'll notice I say one thing a lot, right? So I'm going to walk you through this in demonstration and hopefully teach you by demonstration. And I'm going to do a pitch for a product that doesn't exist, which will be, so don't try to buy it because it's not actually real. All right, so let's go with that, okay? So let's say that I've decided to create a product, and let's say this is just like a little bread and butter product or something. And the product is about how to play guitar really well, like how to play specifically blues guitar solos, right? So if I was starting this video sales letter, here is how the script would look. So it would literally just be this on a screen. And here's what it would say. This is the cliffhanger story with one thing promise intro. I would say, while traveling through rural Mississippi in the summer of 2007, looking for a deeper understanding of how to play blues guitar, I met a shy but powerful 83-year-old guitar player who taught me the one thing that can make any guitar player crank out soul-melting blues solos on the spot, even if they're new to playing guitar. And in a moment, I'll share exactly what he taught me. But first, and that's the intro, okay? So what we've done here is, number one, I've gotten attention. I've drawn the listener, I might say the reader just because I'm used to saying that, but this is a video, so the viewer. I've drawn the viewer in with a story. So nothing really conveys information like a story. Like stories are the most important things we can learn how to master in sales, and especially if we can tell a story that provides value. So I've gotten that viewer's attention with the story, and of course the story should be true. I've also simultaneously implied that there is one thing that can get tremendous results for them. And in doing so, I've whetted the appetite and created curiosity by saying, hey, in a moment, I'll share you exactly what he taught me. And finally, by stopping that story and interrupting it, having that cliffhanger, I've created what's called an open loop. And an open loop will retain attention, all right? So imagine we're in high school. So we go back to high school days, right? And and me and you are hanging out, and you've got a crush on this girl, right? And she's like this super nice cheerleader girl, and you've always liked her and all this kind of stuff. And her name is Jenny, okay? And let's say I'm talking to you, and I'm like, dude, oh man, I got to tell you this. I overheard Jenny talking to Sarah about you, and Jenny said, hang on, I'll tell you in a minute, but first I got to do this. Now, what are you going to be thinking about? Right? Like I could go, first I have to circumnavigate the globe 57,000 times and invent time travel. And I'd get done with that and you'd still be going, well, what'd she say, dude? It could be 10 years later. And you'd be like, you let me hang in this whole time. That's an open loop, right? That's what we're trying to do right there. Is we're trying to create that open loop to really focus in that attention. So that's that entire opening right there, right? We just begin the story, follow those steps. Now, the next formula is a little different. This is the painful question plus the one thing promise. And there's a little interesting backstory to this. So Dean and I work together a lot, and we're very, very close friends. And we share a lot of marketing concepts together. And that's really lucky for me because he's brilliant. And he asked me to take a look at his infomercial script with Larry King. And I said, yeah, I like the script a lot, and it was really working well. And I was like, dude, what do you think would happen if we tried this? If we tried like asking the viewer a question that we knew the answer would be yes, but it was an uncomfortable question. And I sent him a voice memo. I scripted out in voice memo. I was like, try something like this. And I, blah, 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 and I sent it to him in a text. And Dean's the type of guy that's like, he'll try everything, right? As long as it's above board, he's like, let's do it. So he scripts it out, splices it into the infomercial. Damn thing, he told me he got like a 25% lift. It was crazy. Sometimes you get lucky. So here is his, and hopefully this works. We tested this morning. This is a video of him doing that painful question plus one thing promise. Here we go.
Let me ask you, have you ever in your adult life looked in the mirror and thought, wow, I thought things would be different. I thought things would be better by now. Well, if you have, you're not alone. But what if I told you there's one thing, just one thing, that can make a shift so you realize this is the greatest time in history, in life, for you to prosper, make more money, and live abundantly?
Man, okay, so I can't hear that because of the way the audio is set up in here, but I already want to give Dean money just because he's so enthusiastic on camera. I've never seen anybody that good ever in my life. He is literally one of the best ever, period. Unbelievable, okay? Notice the framework, though, that he did. And I'm going to do it by memory because I couldn't hear the video because of the way our audio is set up in here. If I hear it, then you won't be able to hear it. It gets all weird. So I think he said, what was the scripting? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, is this it? Is this everything? Have you ever thought that maybe life would just give you more? And then, what if I told you there was this one thing that could, whatever it is, I forgot the dang script because it's been a while. That's the example of that framework. It's the painful question with the one thing promise, right? So those are your two openings. Either one of those are going to work great, right? Choose whichever one fits best for you and go forward. And that is how you do step one, okay? So pretty simple. By the way, I made notes of these, and if you want those notes, text notes to 858-239-1008. Man, you're fast on the draw. Look at that. It's like he's telepathic over there, that Sassy Dazzle. That's the name of our award-winning video editor. You know what it is. He's got the ratio. It's 49% sass and 51% dazzle is what it does it for me. Sassy Dazzle, I tell you what. If you want these notes, text 858-239, or text notes to 858-239-1008. I'll send them to you. Okay, so here's step two, because I know this is a lot to try to remember, right? So step two is now your intro. You got their attention, you did the open, they're like, okay, what's the one thing, right? Now we got to do the introduction. So we got two formulas. First one is, hey, I'm where you want to be. Right, that gets their attention. Like, hey, my name is Rick James, and I'm a multi-platinum multi-platinum record-selling musician. And if you want to be a multi-platinum record musician, you can listen to me too. Here's how that would be. Right now, this copy is for a product that does not exist. So none of this that I'm saying on the screen is true here. I'm just literally doing this as an example. Right, and so this is for the fictitious guitar product. Right. So I'd say, now remember where we left off, right? I met a shy but powerful 83-year-old man who showed me the one thing that can transform anyone to an incredible blues player almost instantly. And then I say, but first, let me introduce myself, right? So now we're in the intro. Hang on, I got to get water. Thank God for video editing, man. You got to please edit me losing my voice out of our finished product here. Okay. So the copy goes, but first, let me introduce myself. My name is Frank Kern, and ever since I learned that one thing, I've been able to sit in on stage with any live blues band and play a solo during any song, in any key, even if I've never heard it before. And then, hey, if we were being really fancy, I might show some footage of me playing. I will really demonstrate that I could do it. That is, if I was actually a real guitar player, which I'm not. I'm just giving you example concepts here. And so now I would go on, right? Imagine being in a bar with your friends or on a date and then mysteriously vanishing, only to appear on stage, sitting in with a band and peeling the paint off the walls with a solo that leaves everyone's jaw on the floor. Okay, so that's an example of, hey, I'm where you want to be right now. I can actually do it. The second formula is the listing of accomplishments, right? And Dean does this one, right? So I'm going to show you this one.
Hi, I'm Dean Graziosi. I'm a multiple New York Times best-selling author, businessman, success coach, been on TV for over 16 years, and I'm the author of the brand new book, Millionaire Success Habits. This thing is on fire. In a minute, I want to share with you how you can have it for free today, just for a limited time offer.
So what did he do? He said, hey, my name's Dean Graziosi, and I'm a New York Times best-selling author. He showed the picture of the books. He said, I've got this book, and apparently the book is literally on fire, so he better drop it like it's hot. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Right? That right there is beautiful humor. That's what happens when you've been teaching for you're on your 4th hour and you haven't had any food. You think that's funny? I think it's funny. Anyway, okay. So those are your 2 open formulas, right? Or your 2 intro formulas. Really simple. Hey, I'm Frank Kern, and I'm a really good guitar player, etc. Or, hey, here's all my accomplishments. Either one of those work really, really well. Okay? Now, the third part is now the story, right? This is called a story-based VSL, and there's a lot more work that goes into the story, and there's a formula for it, and I'm going to teach it to you. Okay? So the story part has multiple steps. Step 1 is you want to go, it wasn't always like this. Okay? Step 2 is you say, I had a dream. Step 3 is now you tell the story of your struggle in trying to accomplish that dream. Step 4 is you tell how you discovered the one powerful thing. Step 5 is you tell what it's like now. So basically, this is like a hero's journey type of story where I, used to suck, wanted it to be real good. It was really hard to get real good. I made a discovery, and now things are really good, right? That's kind of the basis of the story. So let me walk you through it, okay? So this is me, again, giving you copy for this completely fictitious, non-existent guitar product here. Like so many kids, I wanted to be a guitar player. I'd listen to guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Buddy Guy and imagine that was me playing their solos, right? So this is where I'm saying that I wanted the big result. Okay, but it wasn't always like this, right? So I wasn't always a good player. When I was a kid, I listened to people and I wished I was, okay? And no matter how much I practiced, I sounded nothing like them, okay? This is me telling the story. So I've told the beginning and I told the dream. I always wanted to sound like these guys, and now I'm saying the story. I remember answering a classified ad for a garage band that covered blues songs. They needed a guitar player, so I went and auditioned. They actually laughed at me. I remember playing in open mic nights in little bars and being so nervous that I played the entire solo in the wrong key. I have literally been laughed off the stage, and I've literally been too shy and embarrassed to play. And I started to think, maybe it's just something that some people are born with. Maybe I don't have enough talent. Maybe I should give this up. So if you feel stuck in a rut, or you're intimidated to play in front of people, or if you just want to go from good to amazing, I know how you feel, and I've been there too, right? So I'm telling in this one little chunk here, it wasn't always like this, right? By saying I always wanted to be a guitar player is insinuating that I wasn't always a guitar player, right? I had a dream, right, which is I always wanted to sound like these guys. So I kind of accomplished those 2 things in that one sentence. The story of struggle is very clear. Laughed off stage, laughed out of the audition, etc. Okay? So here we go. On with the story. And that's why I took that trip to Mississippi that one summer. I was hoping I'd get some inspiration or something, anything that would help me play better, and that's when I met him. His name was Nehemiah Wade, and he was 83 years old. He didn't even have a guitar when I met him. He was sitting in a rocking chair outside a gas station I stopped at. Now, this is where I'm beginning the story of discovering the one thing. He asked me where I was from, probably because I had out-of-town plays, and asked me what I was doing in Mississippi. So I told him, I'm here to learn how to play blues guitar. He asked me who my favorite players are, and I told him, Fred McDowell, B.B. King, the classics. That's when he shared it with me. He said, you know all them boys are doing the same thing, don't you? I told him I didn't, and I asked him what he meant, and that's when he showed me. Turns out, gas station belonged to his son, and he turned his head toward the door and yelled, Jimmy, bring me my guitar. His son Jimmy brought it out in an old beat-up case. He opened it, pulled out his guitar and said, name one. I said, B.B. King, Been Downhearted. He played the solo to it right there on the spot, but it wasn't note for note. Anyone can memorize where to put their fingers if they practice long enough. No, this was different. It was like the solo to the song, just not note for note. It was more fluid and effortless. It had that B.B. King sound, like I was sitting there with B.B. King himself, and he just kind of started playing the solo off the top of his head. After that, I'd asked him if he'd teach me. I don't know why he agreed, but he did. And it really was one thing. And that one thing is a simple pattern of just 4 notes in any key. And once you know the pattern and how to change it up, you can sound like anyone. Now notice what I've done there. I told the story of struggle, and now I've begun and really pretty much completed the discovery of the one thing. And in this case, the one thing is the story of the one thing is this 4-note pattern, which may or may not exist. Again, I'm totally pulling this out of the air, right? So this is example copy, okay? So now I'm leading into section 5. So that's what I did. I modeled how I used that one thing and started playing just like whoever I wanted to sound like on the spot. I couldn't believe it worked. I mean, I'm the guy who literally got laughed off the stage. I'm the guy who tried lessons before and actually ended up playing worse. Now you see where I have these things in all caps, where I'm saying overcoming or acknowledging common objection or fear. If your story can also be something that's very relatable to a fear they have, then you damn sure better include it, right? So if someone wants to, their dream is to be a blues guitar player and play on stage, and their big fear is that they'll get laughed off stage. If you've got something where you were laughed off stage and you overcame that, you better tell it, right? Because now you have a common fear, and that's going to increase your bond with them, right? I do it twice there. Another one is taking lessons and having them actually make you play worse. That can actually happen because you try to get too technical in your playing and you play from your head instead of from your gut is where you should play, and that kind of music anyway. I'm the guy who, no matter how much I practice my scales, just cannot play fast if my life depended on it. That's another thing with guitar players, right? So if you're a guitar player, you know, you practice scales a million times and it gets hard to play the damn things fast, and no one ever plays as fast as they want to. So you really need to bond with your audience here. So here we go, I'll continue. But there I was, sweating in the Mississippi sun, playing blues with Nehemiah Wade, an 83-year-old retired mailman who spent his days at his son's gas station. Now here we go in step number 5. This is where I'm segueing into step number 5 here. Fast forward to today, and I can sit in with any band in town, not because I ask, but because they invite me. I never have to audition for gigs because bands call me. I can't tell you how cool it is to be able to play the notes that you hear in your head instantly without even thinking about it. And the pride you feel when people clap their hands and stomp their feet, demanding an encore from you, is amazing. Or maybe it's the way your kids look at you when they hear you play, seeing you transform from parent to star. No matter what drives you to want to play blues, this one thing is the key. Now, in that story and in your story, you need to hit emotional triggers because man does not ever operate on logic. We are emotional creatures. We are completely illogical and in many cases completely insane, right? So emotion drives every decision, just about, right? We can say it's logic, but ultimately it's driven by some kind of an emotion. So for the emotion of pride, I mean, what is a guy who wants to learn how to play guitar on stage? Does he want to feel pride? Of course. And significance? Of course. Why else would you want to stand on stage, right? I've never had to audition because bands call me. I'm hitting that pride emotion trigger. Here's another one, pride. I can sit in with any band in town, not because I ask, but because they invite me. When you ask any, guitar player or musician, like, hey, dude, would it be cool if, like, I don't know, whoever, the Police came in town and they asked you to sit in on drums with them? Like, hell yeah, it'd be cool, right? So everyone would have that. It's a very relatable emotion for that market. Fulfillment, right? So musicians, at least the ones I know, would really love to be able, so every musician always has stuff going on in their head, like melodies you can create in your head, and it's amazing, and you're like, shit, if I could actually play what's in my head, it'd be great. So that type of fulfillment is what we're trying to trigger here, able to play the notes in your head instantly without even thinking about it. Significance is another very powerful emotion, when people clap their hands and stomp their feet, demanding an encore from you. Emotional connection, or maybe it's the way your kids look at you when they hear you play, seeing you transform from parent to star. Identity shift, by the way. So like I taught in Mass Control, which some of you might have, I released it years ago and I never re-released it. It was amazing, very, very good training. I taught you that a lot of reasons people buy things is because they really are buying a new identity, right? When the pot-bellied, balding 40-year-old divorcee goes out and buys the convertible Ferrari, he's not buying a race car. He's buying a new identity as an available bachelor who is cool, right? And I know I'm playing into a bit of a stereotype there, but really we kind of buy everything so we can step into the identity that we want outside of basic survival stuff, right? Like if I go out and I buy some chicken or something, I'm shifting into a new identity of dude who eats chicken just because I like chicken. But with a lot of products, especially like an information product or anything really that's kind of an elective type of thing to buy, a lot of it's 100% stepping into new identity driven. Right? That's why advertising, so much image advertising and brand advertising uses celebrities, right? Like it'd be really hard to sell, Tom Ford clothes or whatever if all the models were great big fat slobby trucker dudes who are picking their nose, right? And it's like, I don't really want to be that guy. But they use famous people, right? It's kind of basic, obvious stuff, but we forget it. You can do that transference of identity and that appeal to the desired identity through story. See Mass Control for more, right? So those are the emotional triggers we're trying to hit. Now, watch how Dean does it. Let's see if I can not mess this up and make it play. And he does this so fast, right? But watch.
Let me just tell you, I understand what it's like to want more, to dream of more, but think maybe it's just not meant for me. Recently I went to upstate New York in the tiny town I grew up in, and I kind of went down memory lane. I took my cell phone and I went and videoed the trailer I lived at with my mom when we were kids, and she worked 2 jobs to make $90 a week. I went to the house where I literally lived in a bathroom with my dad for an entire year. A little electric heater, plugged in every night, freezing, literally living in a tiny bathroom. I went to a garage I worked in that, with a little wood stove working on cars. And I remember thinking, maybe this is the best I have. Maybe there is no more. Maybe the economy's not set for me, or I didn't grow up with money and I didn't go to college and I don't have connections. I remember all those things, and then I had an epiphany. One day it hit me and I realized that people with money, people that were happy, people that were successful, who lived an abundant life had something different than I had. It was one thing. They shifted their habits. I'm not talking about the 180, I should say, like a New Year's resolution. Just these tiny little differences in how they thought and the things they did. And when I started modeling them, I became a millionaire in my 20s. I retired my parents, took care of my family, took care of my friends, hired people. I know what it's like to get money out of the way and have the cars and the house of my dreams and fly on private jets and speak around the world to 10, 20,000 people at a time and meet my heroes. But I also know what the definition, for me at least, is of true success. And that's the ability to coach Little League and play with my kids in the park in the afternoon and to be in the best shape of my life, to be the dad I want to be.
Nailed it. So perfect, right? But if you look at that, and if you watch that, and you look at my outline of steps, he followed it absolutely to the letter. It wasn't always like this. Had a dream, wanted to be successful. Here's my story of struggle. Grew up, showed the little houses, lived in the bathroom, and all of that kind of stuff, right? Made the discovery. Here's where I am now. Perfect. 100% right there according to the formula. All of that's true, by the way. There's no embellishment or anything like that. The guy's so freaking good. He just, boom, right off the top of the head. No script, nothing. It's amazing, right? But that's it, right? So there's 2 examples of using that story in selling. Now, if we look at his emotional triggers that he's hitting, number 1, pride and accomplishment. I became a millionaire in my 20s. Number 2, obligation, reciprocity, and pride based on family values. He retired his parents. He took care of his family. He took care of his friends. Now, that could even play into an identity shift, where if someone wants to step into the identity of being the hero of the family or the hero of the community, he is showing and telling about the symbols of wealth. I know what it's like to get money out of the way and have the cars and the house of my dreams and fly on private jets. And then there is the appeal to significance and speak around the world to 10,000 and 20,000 people at a time and meet my heroes. And then there is the appeal to the emotion of wanting to take care of one's family and being a good parent and a good person. I know what the definition, for me at least, of true success, and that's the ability to coach Little League and play with my kids at the park. Then he hits the emotion of wanting to be healthy, showing that he's in the best shape of his life and how he's sprinting up that mountain like a show-off, right? He actually does that, and he is a little bit of a show-off. I don't think he should be such a show-off. I think it's harder just to sit around in the mornings. That takes real skill, just to sit there and resist the urge to sprint up that mountain and to bravely sit and drink coffee and maybe watch Family Guy reruns. You want a hero, that's a hero, the man that has the guts to do that, to sit around and maybe have himself a little chocolate donut and some hot chocolate on top. That's what I'm talking about. Forget these pansies that sprint up mountains, little chocolate donuts. Keep America great. Wouldn't that be a nice little commercial there, right? So, beautiful use of story. You guys watching are probably like, Kernan's out of his mind. But hey, this is what happens. You don't have any food, you teach for 4 hours, you start getting a little crazy. Okay, so beautifully done there, right? That's how you do it. That is textbook right there, how you do it. You follow those 5 steps of the story. They've got to be true. Please don't make anything up, and be sure to hit the emotional triggers. So now we're on to step numero quattro, which is the bridge. And the bridge is a simple transition from story to pitch. And this is where people screw this up all the time, because they get freaked out. They go, oh my God, now I got to sell. Oh God, Jesus, oh no, I'm going to sell. Everyone's going to get mad at me if I sell. Ain't anyone going to get mad at you if you sell. People love to buy things. Thank God. I mean, really, we have so much to be thankful for. And one of the things is that we live in a time where consumerism and the act of buying things is actually viewed as an accomplishment. Like, could it get any better for us? Really? And we have this unbelievable, like this huge, massive wave of opportunity, which is selling information online, right? It's unbelievable. Like, really? We get that? No way. And then we get the elimination of technical overwhelm through all these tools that make it simple for us to do. And then we get unbelievable access to reaching our ideal customers like from anywhere in the world through very simple, inexpensive advertising. And on top of that, just to put a little bow on the whole box of amazing, our culture dictates that if you buy lots of stuff, you win. Like, really? Could we have any more advantages? I mean, this is unbelievable, right? So please don't be afraid to sell. People like to buy things. People go on vacation to go shopping. They have shopping sprees. They like it. We like to buy stuff. We just don't like people to be buttholes to us when they're trying to sell stuff. That's all. It's got to be cool when you're trying to make the sale. So step number 4, the bridge, is transitioning from your story to a pitch, right? So here's some scripting on how to do it. Dean uses this one a lot. He, like, right after you've maybe said, like, here's some solutions or whatever, he'll go, well, solutions are great. We know wisdom is great. But without action, nothing happens. And I have something for you to take action on today. Boom. 3 sentences right there. Very, very simple, right? Here's another one. Look, you're watching today for a reason. Something in your life isn't perfect and you want more. So you know where you are. You probably know where you want to go. The only thing left is, how are you going to get there? Today you have that chance to grab the roadmap that shows you exactly how. Right? It's another transition. That's when you say, and that roadmap is called the Super Duper Thing 3000. Okay? Here's another one. This is me scripting for the guitar thing. Hey, if you're watching this, you're probably just like me. Someone who loves guitar, loves the blues, and just wants to play great solos with confidence and style. And that's why I think you're going to love. And now we go into the introduction of the product. So the bridge is no big deal, but you got to have it, right? And you got to do it with confidence, and you can't be weirded out, because you shouldn't be weirded out. Whatever you have helps people, right? Like, I wasn't weirded out when I told you I'm going to give you Info Business Blueprint for free if you join Kern Inner Circle, because if you do it, I know you're going to be real happy. Nothing weird about making people happy in my book, right? I'll do that all day, every day. No problem. So don't be afraid. People condition, oh, you shouldn't sell anything. Don't worry about it. People like to buy things. If you can help them, sell your heart out, man. You should, right? You should help people. That's why else would you have the ability to help if you're not supposed to use it? Okay, so don't squander that. So here's how Dean does this transition, right? And he really kind of does it a little bit off script here, but he still does it perfectly. So check it out.
I don't know what your definition of success is, but I want to tell you here and now, the thing that's standing between you and the life you deserve, that next level, that reaching the full potential, is the habits you have. And that's why I wrote Millionaire Success Habits.
Boom. There you go. That was it, right? Actually, he did that perfect to script. It's the pitch at the end that's not 100% to script. And the reason I included it is because I don't want you to think you have to be 100%. I keep looking at the wrong camera, sorry. That you have to be 100% to script. So let's talk about the actual pitch, right? So here's the pitch. The formula and the framework for making a pitch is, here's what I got, here's what it will do for you, here's what I want you to do next. I mean, that's really the overarching framework on how to do a pitch. So if I were doing the guitar thing, I would have segued in, hey, if you're watching this, you're just like me, you probably just want to play blues with heart and soul and enjoy yourself. And then I'd say, and today you have the chance to get the one thing that can do it better than anything else. It's the solo system, and it takes the one thing that allows you to play soul-melting blues solos almost instantly and transplants it into your playing, just like Nehemiah Wade transplanted it into mine. Here's how it'll make you sound amazing. Now look, what I just do right there. Today you have a chance to get the one thing that can help you do it better than anything else. It's the solo system. What's that? Here's what I got. This little section right here, here's how it'll make you sound amazing, is here's what it will do for you, right? The system is simple. You can go through it in a day and be playing solos before dinner. In it, I show you the 4-note pattern first. That takes about 10 minutes to really learn. Then I show you all the variations on the pattern, the B.B. King style, the Stevie Ray Vaughan style, the Albert Collins style, and all the rest of the greats. Once you see me walk you through this, you'll instantly get it because your playing will become instinctive instead of something you actually have to think about. And finally, I'm giving you recorded jam sessions where we play along together. I've created backing tracks for you to solo over, and there's 2 versions of each track. One version is just the backing track, so you can do all the solos yourself. The second version is where I'll play a few bars of solo, then it leaves space for you to play a few bars, and we continue to trade off just like we were cutting heads down in Mississippi. Doing this makes you master the technique much faster because you can see how I play my part and then model the approach. The bottom line is if you really want to play solid blues that makes people take notice and yell for more, this is what you want. And that's why you need to get this today. This entire system is normally $94, but if you order before the timer on this page hits 0, you can have it for half off. That's one simple payment of $47. So click the link on this page and get yours right away. So what we had there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 entire sentences was the here's what I got, here's what it'll do for you. So look, here's what I got. All of this is here's what it'll do for you. All of this is here's what it'll do for you until the very last sentence, which is here's what I want you to do next. That's it. Here's what I got. Here's what it will do for you. Here's what I want you to do next. I learned that framework from John Carlton, who I absolutely love, and it changed my life. Because writing copy used to be absolutely horrible, and creating offers would freak me out. And he was like, dude, God, you're so weird. 3 things. Here's what I got. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's what I want you to do next. I was like, thanks, John, gotta go. Went and wrote copy, it worked. It's like, all right, dude, see ya, I gotta go. And it was great, right? So I've never, ever strayed from that framework. It always has worked for me. And it just makes selling like a simple process, right? So here's how Dean does it. And in this time, he kind of, I think this is the part where we strays off script a little bit, but it's still so freaking good. I include it, A, because it's really good, and B, to show you that even if you sort of stray a little bit, as long as you do this with authenticity and enthusiasm, you're still going to do pretty good. So here's how my man Dean delivers that.
I took the habits that allowed me to go from that trailer park to generating hundreds of millions of dollars through my brands and through my company. And now I get to change people's lives all over the world, and I want to change yours. So for a limited time, if you'll cover the shipping and handling, the exact cost of shipping and handling, I'll send you the hardcover of this book that's on fire. People are going nuts over it.
He should really drop it like it was hot if it's on fire, Dean. Okay, so it wasn't 100% descriptive, but it's still pretty close. All right, and finally, what we want to do is we want to add some bonuses. You don't have to, but in my opinion, you're going to get more sales if you do than if you didn't, so you might as well, right? So the rule here is always have them, no exceptions. So here's how I present the bonuses in this imaginary guitar product. So I've just told them, hey, they're going to get 50% off, right? And so now I'm presenting the bonus. And if the 50% discount isn't enough to push you over the edge, this will. When you order today, I'm also going to send you my latest program, Bottleneck Breakdown. This takes the one thing and uses it on slide guitar solos. The same 4-note system applies, so it's just as simple as instructive. In this system, I'll show you how to sound like Duane Allman, Derek Trucks, John Lee Hooker, Muddy Waters, Warren Haynes, and more. Plus, you're getting the same type of backing tracks where you can practice your solos on your own, or you and I can cut heads and trade off. And to make sure you get that killer sound, I'm also including an authentic Deep South medicine bottle slide, the same slide used by all the greats, free. So click the button below and get yours right away. The 50% discount and the free bonuses are gone once the timer hits 0, right? So that's just how you do it, right? You say, here's the next thing that you get. And notice I'm like trying to sell the bonus too. I'm building the value of the bonus. You don't just be like, hey, and you also get this as a bonus, and it sure is cool, so I hope you like it, right? No, you want to really present that value. So the bonus in and of itself would be worth the 47. Hell, you're getting the actual slide thingy, you know, and you're getting the training. None of this exists, by the way. It does sound cool. If only there was such a thing that existed, that'd be great. I would buy it, right? So here's how Dean does it. You ready?
but I wanted to make this irresistible. So you gotta listen to a couple things because this is a limited time offer. My book, Totally Fulfilled. This is my first personal development book. It's a New York Times bestseller. If you'll click the link below right now and get Millionaire Success Habits, I'll send you this one for free as well today. And a couple more bonuses to make sure you don't miss out on this today. I did an exclusive interview with my buddy Tony Robbins on confidence, and it came out so unbelievable. This interview alone could change the course of your life. I'm including that today. Also, I'm doing a special webcast training with my top millionaire student. He went from machine shop worker to transforming his life, having his own business, thriving. The guy is unbelievable, and we want to share with you the strategies he's used and I've used to transform our lives financially. And we want to do it in a special webcast presentation. So when you get this book today, you'll get the invite to attend that online training. And lastly, to fulfill and help my buddy Tony Robbins with his mission to feed 100 million people. When you get the book today, for every book that we ship to you, I'm going to feed 20 people through Feeding America. So right now, you have the opportunity to get the wisdom in your hands, the habits that you can bump out habits that don't serve you with ones that can help you live a fulfilled, abundant, more wealthy life. At the same time, you'll get Totally Fulfilled, my New York Times bestseller. This sold for $29, both free. Just cover the shipping and handling. You'll get my interview with Tony Robbins, and you'll help people in need, because every time we ship these books, I'm going to feed at least 20 people through Feeding America. This is a limited time offer. Help me, help Tony Robbins feed 100 million people this year and get the best book I've ever created in your hands. But this offer is going away. So click the link below and let us ship this book to you right now.
Pretty good. A little bit off script with the charity thing, but still perfect, right? So a lot of people say, well, do I need to do a charity thing with my book? No, you don't have to. Not going to hurt. I think he just did it just to be cool. You know, why not? Hey, sounds pretty good. Feed 20 people every time you give a book away. Not a bad deal. But you don't have to include that, right? But follow that structure. You did the same structure. All right, here's the bonus. Here's what the bonus is worth. Here's how the bonus is going to help you. Repeating the call to action. So our final thing that we want to do is the last step, almost last step, is the risk reversal. And this is we want to reassure, connect, and repitch. Okay, reassure, connect, and re-pitch. So there is kind of a little script that you want to follow here. So let me kind of walk, I'll do it and then I'll sort of tell you what I was doing. So, one more thing. I want to talk to the players. Now let me start over here so I can read it right. One more thing. I want to talk to the players out there who've tried everything and are still feeling stuck. The players who spent years taking lessons, the players who took the weekend retreats with the celebrity musicians, and the players who bought everything under the sun but still aren't where they want to be. I know exactly how you feel. I did all that stuff too. Heck, I was so desperate. I drove all the way to Mississippi in the middle of the summer where I didn't know a single person, just hoping I'd get lucky. And I want you to know that I got your back. You'll know if this is for you or not within the first 10 minutes of seeing it. For most people, it clicks for them right away, but I don't want you to feel rushed. Try it out for a full month, and if you don't sound amazing, let me know and I'll refund every penny. So you can't go wrong here. This really is the one thing that can take your playing to a new level fast, and I guarantee it'll work just like I say, or I'll give you back your money. So get yours right now. Remember, you're saving 50% and you're getting the bottleneck breakdown, plus I'm sending you an authentic Deep South medicine bottle slide for free. Now, remember, we reassure, we reconnect, and we repitch. So in the reassuring, look what I'm doing. I'm talking to their objections and reassuring them that I understand. So, players who have tried everything and they're still feeling stuck, that's an objection. So I'm reassuring them that I understand that position and this is still okay. Oh man, but I've spent years taking lessons, I still can't play well. Well, that's objection number 2, right? The players who spent years taking lessons, I'm reassuring. The players who took the weekend retreats with the celebrity musicians and the players who bought everything under the sun, but still aren't where they want to be, right? That's objections 3 and 4. So I'm reassuring every single time, right? Now I'm reconnecting. I know exactly how you feel. I did all that stuff too. Heck, I was so desperate I drove all the way down to Mississippi in the middle of the summer where I didn't know a single person, just hoping I'd get lucky. I'd probably change that to say just hoping I'd learn to play better, because it could have other connotations. Hey, but hey, what happens in Mississippi stays in Mississippi. And I want you to know that I've got your back, right? So that's where you reconnect. And now we're repitching. So you can't go wrong here. This really is the one thing that can take your playing to a new level fast. And I guarantee it'll work, just like I say, or I'll give you back your money. So get yours right now. Remember, you're saving 50% and you're getting bottleneck breakdown. Plus, I'm sending you an authentic Deep South medicine bottle slide for free. So I just repitch it and I tell them to click the button one more time. So that is really the framework of how you create an amazingly effective story-based video sales letter. In fact, it doesn't even have to be limited to a video sales letter. It could be actual plain old regular copy. Plain old regular copy written on a pad and paper, sent in the mail or put on one of them websites or whatever. But if you've been feeling stuck and you want to make a pitch that works really well, that right there. If you want the notes from this and you want the notes from today's earlier thing, text the word notes to 1-858-239-1008. And this concludes today's training. Man, we went a little bit over schedule. I really was worried this whole time that I would go too fast. I always do this. I'm like, God, I hope I have enough content to fill the time slots. And then I ended up going long, but I sure don't mind. I'm glad that you found this helpful if you did. And for everyone who joined the Inner Circle, thank you so much for doing that. I want to recap that offer to you right now. First of all, as a free gift just for joining, right now today I'm going to give you two things. Number one, I'm going to give you the Info Business Blueprint training that sells on my site right now for $2,997. It's been on my site for $2,997 for a year. I've sold it in the past for $2,860. I've also sold it at discounted offers on webinars and automated campaigns for $2,000. Never just giving it away for free. You can get it free today when you join the Kern Inner Circle. You also get the recordings to the Alchemy event that was freaking awesome. The name kind of says it all. The purpose of the Alchemy event was to learn how to convert strangers into customers. And it was just me teaching how to do that for 2 full days. I spent about 50 grand recording it, editing it, and then I got so completely involved in supporting and growing my Inner Circle that I never released it. And I may never release it, but I would love for you to have it because I know it will help you. And you can have that instantly today, absolutely free as well, when you join the Inner Circle. And the reason you should join Inner Circle is this. Listen, you've probably taken courses before, right? I have, and I'm glad I did. But do they really create lasting change? I don't think they do. I think they give you a really good jump start. It's like putting nitrogen in your, nitrous in your race car. It goes, woo, you go real fast, and then you run out of nitrous and you go kind of slow. What we really need to have lasting change is constant reinforcement and community. Think about it this way. Arguably, one of the greatest books ever written is the Bible, right? So if someone wants to change their life and change their habits and have a different standard of living, one really solid piece of advice might be like, well, dude, try reading the Bible and do what that says. And you know what? The person, they might go out and they might get the Bible and they might read it and they might have, for a couple weeks or a month or whatever, they're doing pretty good. And pretty soon, they might fall back into old habits and old ways of thinking, and they might end up less happy than they were, and they might end up back at square one, and they might lose that momentum. Not the Bible's fault. It is the nature of all of us, right? That's why we have church, okay? Why do people go to church every Sunday if they're preaching from the same book every single time? It's because just reading the book or taking the course one time, yeah, it's really helpful. It's better than doing nothing. It's going to get you something. It's probably going to do a lot better than if you didn't do it. But for lasting change and to really see transformation, you need that focus. You need to be surrounded with like-minded people. You need constant updates. You need constant refreshers, right? You need a constant influx of goodness coming into your mind and into your life. And in the concept of business and within the framework of marketing and selling online in a way that is fun and friendly and effective, that's exactly what being a member of the Kern Inner Circle is like. It is constant reinforcement and focus and the delivery of satisfaction, confidence, and capabilities to you as a member. So that's really what we do. No, we're not a religious organization, but I think that analogy is really very, very accurate. We can get a lot of benefit from one book, but if we have continuous interaction with like-minded individuals where we are led by someone who's very experienced and we have that constant reinforcement, we can achieve transformation, and it can be very, very powerful. So if you've enjoyed what we've talked about today, and if you sat to yourself, you said, man, I'm going to try that, or God, I wish I'd have known that sooner, or man, I can't wait to do that, or if you saw me show you like, oh, you could sell this type of information product, and here's how this one works, and here's how this works, and you're excited about doing it, and you want to keep that enthusiasm, and you want to keep that focus, and you don't want to do the shiny object stuff anymore, and you don't want to be distracted anymore, and you don't want to feel overwhelmed anymore, and you want somewhere to turn to when you need help, and you want someone to celebrate the victories with you, I invite you to join us. We're a very happy group of people that get tremendous results and help each other every single day. Go to joinfrankkern.com. I'll give you all the gifts we spoke about. Of course, you can have the final product, the final edited version of the product I've been recording yesterday and today, and we'll continue recording tomorrow. Again, as a gift, no one else is going to get that. I'll sell it later, but of course you can have it when you join the Inner Circle. So I strongly urge you to join that right now. Go to joinfrankkern.com right now, and I will see you tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, first of all, the big money back end. So there are 4 different models that you can sell that involve much higher tickets that go perfectly with the book funnel. So if you want to be really, really fancy, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's simple, but it's really cool. So the way it works is, we showed you how to do book funnel today, so I kind of just pretend like, imagine this is the book funnel, right? So yesterday and today, book funnel, information products, Slack adjuster. Remember then I said there's like the 10x money multiplier? That's what I'm going to show you tomorrow. The business models that contribute to that. No, it's not these individual books. I'm just trying to show it as like little blocks. Probably doesn't make sense to me doing that. But that's what I'm going to show you tomorrow, first thing. Second thing, tomorrow, I'm still really up in the air. I could do 2 things for you, and I'll decide tonight. Number 1 is I could show you the 7 habits that will give you financial freedom forever, as it relates directly to direct response people like ourselves. So it has nothing to do with like set goals, wake up early in the morning or anything like that. It's specifically related to marketing and sales. The second thing I could show you is a review of all of the closing stack technologies that I used during my presentations today. How to reposition offers, and even as I'm telling you that, I think I want to show you that tomorrow. I think I kind of want to end with that one. But I'll decide, and who knows, maybe we'll go hog wild crazy and we'll do it all, kind of like we did today. But look, if you like this and you're like, man, I want to be with Frank and hang out with people like this all the time, get in the Inner Circle. You're going to love it. Who cares about $397 a month? Are you serious? What are you going to do with $397? It's irrelevant. If you woke up today and you had $397 less and then you just forgot about it, this time next month you wouldn't even remember it, and you would have gotten your $397 back from the universe, because money always replenishes itself. Your time does not, right? All the time you spend frustrated, all the time you spend confused, all the time you spend overwhelmed, all the time you spend trying to do something that is not right for your business can never be reclaimed. We can help you avoid all of that stuff and keep you focused, pointed in the right direction on top of everything that's working right now. Go to joinfrankkern.com, become a member. I can't wait to see you on our live video conferences at our event in September, on one of the Facebook Fridays or the Tech Tuesdays. I can't wait to send you exactly what's working every month in the mail and help you build your marketing by sending you a marketing campaign in a box as well. Look forward to seeing you in the morning. We start same time, 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow on a Sunday of all days. And I'll see you then.